So, of course, all of us that have had family members that we've lost from pancreatic cancer, we've come to know your name as a symbol for hope and as a symbol for what is possible against this disease. And so, I guess, how has your life changed since, a few years ago with your early detection test and your awards, and how has your life changed since then?
I mean, it's just been a roller coaster since then. I could have never imagined this type of thing. And it's just so cool to me just to see how many more people I can impact. And one of the best things about it is just coming into contact with all these different stories and all these different families, because those are the type of people that motivate you in the lab. Because it's so easy in the lab, like among these like test tubes and chemicals, to forget about the people that you're helping. And these are the types of people that help motivate me in the lab, because whenever I like run into an obstacle, I think, how am I going to help save another life today?
Well, no, I think you brought up a really good point, and I think the fact that you have such a personal, this started as a very personal journey for you.
Yes.
And so I think that's a lot of doctors, they get into a field, but maybe they don't have that personal connection. So I think that's why you're even going to make a bigger difference. But so tell us what's going on. So we all know, we're all excited. I remember Rick woke up, showed me this article. He's like, look at this, because at the time my mom was fighting pancreatic cancer. She was one of the fortunate ones, though. They caught it at stage 1A, so it was really early for her. But we were so excited to see this. So what's going on with your test, and is kind of what's the stage that it's at right now?
Yeah, so right now I'm working on improving it such that I can enter clinical trials. I have the international patent on it, so we're in talks with 6 different biotech companies about getting it on the market as soon as possible to help save as many lives as possible. So super exciting. Unfortunately, my lab mentor did move down to Texas, so I had to find another lab, but I'm now back in the lab and working, so it'll be exciting to see what happens.
So is it something, so then the next step will be for it to go into clinical trials?
Yes, yeah, with widespread patient trials with a widespread cohort through various stages of pancreatic cancer. So once we get there, it will be really exciting to get it on the market as soon as possible.
So I know I read about when you were first starting with your research and you couldn't find a lab, you couldn't find anyone to take you in, and people said, what are you doing, kid? We're not going to help you. I can only imagine that has changed dramatically now. So what is it like going into a room with all these researchers and going into a lab with these people who are so much older than you, and do they treat you differently now?
I mean, it's definitely odd just because there's this massive age difference. So they're like, oh, I just had a kid, and I'm like, I just took my SATs. So there's a bit of a miscommunication there, but I mean, it's still great, and all the people in the lab are awesome people. And a bit intimidating against the fancy PhDs and MDs. I still managed to hold my own, but it's definitely exciting just to be in the lab and interact with all these different people, so.
Well, now, so what is the most exciting thing for you that you're working on right now? What do you want people to know about that is really exciting you and that you see making a difference in the future?
So 2 different pieces of work that I'm working on right now. One is a sensor that can essentially print out different sensors for different diseases, particularly pancreatic cancer is one of the most interesting ones, just because it will actually be hopefully cheaper than my previous test, but also detect it earlier. So we're going to see how that turns out. And then my other project is on what are called nano robots. And they're extremely small robots. You can stack about 100 of them head to head, and they're only the thickness of a single sheet of paper. So they're extremely small. And how I use them is they actually chatter, and they learn how to treat your cancer, and hopefully we'll be able to detect resistance to a drug and be able to instantly turn that off and switch the regimen, thus optimizing and personalizing your cancer treatment. So that's the 2 projects I'm currently working on, so definitely exciting stuff.
Well, that sounds awesome, and I don't know how. So when you're not working on those things, do you still feel like you have a normal life, or do you feel like is your life just totally crazy?
It is pretty crazy. In the month of April, I went to school 2 hours in between a trip to Lithuania and another trip to the White House. So it's just absolutely insane the amount of people I get to meet and the places I get to see. I mean, I could have never imagined this just 2 years ago. It's just a whirlwind, so I'm enjoying it.
But it's all worth it. I'm sure you
Yes.
wouldn't trade it for,
No, just because of the amount of impact you can have in raising the word worldwide about pancreatic cancer is one of my biggest goals, and it's so exciting to get to see people passionate about it.
No, so I'm sure, as you said, you have this crazy schedule, but you still wanted to be here tonight, to come here to Altoona, Pennsylvania
Yes.
for this event. So why was it important for you to be here?
It was so important to be here because this is literally my favorite event of the year. I look forward to it all the time. And so I had to squeeze it in, cancel trips to LA, but I made sure I was going to be here just because the people here are so nice and so caring. And you can connect with them on such a personal level, and I just love it. They're just all such great people. I have so much fun.
And Kathy, I mean, she inspires all of us, and her energy is just, you just like feel it when you're around her, right?
Yeah,
So.
the energy is just tangible in the room because everyone's so passionate, especially Kathy leading the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Great. So, all right. So I guess, what do you want people to know? Why should they support organizations like the AFFPC, like the Griffith Foundation? Why is it important to support them?
So it's definitely important to support these different foundations like the Griffith Foundation, AFPC, because what happens is in pancreatic cancer, it's one of the most poorly funded research groups of cancer in the world. Even though it's the fourth leading cause of cancer, it's the only one in the top 5 cancers that is below $100 million per year. And so we definitely need to get that up. And that's what foundations like the Griffith Foundation, AAFPCA do. They get that extra money to support researchers like Dr. Mosier and myself in the lab to make those changes that will help us bring down pancreatic cancer.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you. Yeah.